We're at the part 2 of how to fail at 2024. I wish that would rhyme. How to fail at 2022. You'd already be out of the business at that point. But we're talking about it. How to fail part 2 in 2024. If you haven't watched us before, like, comment, and subscribe so that we know that you're here. We're making an effort to bring you new content every single week. We've got Adam on one day, Nick on the others. We're going to even do some crossover live specials throughout the year, but we need your support. Like the video, share the video, comment if you agree or disagree, and we'd love to see that interaction to help this channel grow and help other people. Adam, are you ready to talk about part 2 on how to make sure you fail in 2024?
Yeah, let's go ahead with it.
So the one that I have written down here that I want to start with is not having patience with other professionals in the business. Now I'm going to unpack that a little bit so you can give me your thoughts. But there are people in our industry that we rely on, contracting departments, lead management, individuals that are on a salary or an hourly wage that get paid the exact same amount of money from one week to the next. They clock in at 9:30, they clock out at 5:30, and we rely on them for a lot of the things that make this business work. What are your thoughts on making the business a failure by not being patient with people that are paid an hourly or a salary wage?
Yeah, I could see that. I think that depending on if you're talking about the people that maybe we communicate at different insurance companies, that could be part of it. People that maybe you need something done, and like you said, they get paid the same regardless of how long it takes them to get it done. So understand, in our business, I can see where a lot of us tend to be impatient with things. It's like we snap our finger, we want it done. We want everybody to be working at the same pace that we're working. So I could see that, if anything, maybe there's some companies even like, let's say it comes to contracting agents, maybe there's some companies that are faster than others, or maybe it comes to companies that maybe it takes them a little bit longer to underwrite a policy than another. Those are things, though, that you can control as an agent. You can decide the companies that you like working with better than others. And if there's some out there that maybe are working a little bit quicker, maybe more to your pace, well, then maybe those are the places that you should focus on putting your business with. But yeah, like I said, we try to connect yourself with people that are, whether they're working on commission or if they're working on a salary, but they tend to work maybe at the same pace that you do.
I think sometimes we forget that you're not the only one that the contracting department is getting emails from. You're not the only contract that they have to process today. You're one of hundreds, if not thousands, of individual issues that they have to manage. And then somebody else has to manage, and buttons that have to push and things that have to happen. And we might live in a one-call close mentality and a entrepreneurial reality, but we also rely on hourly salary-based employees to make the thing work. And a lot of these insurance carriers might sound big, might make money, might have a lot of money, but are oftentimes run by like 6.5 people. That's it. And if you anger one of those people, they all hate you. And this is a lesson learned myself, that the biggest companies are often run by not that many people.
Definitely learned that if you have an issue with a company, the best thing to do, take it out on your upline.
Exactly.
If they tick you off, if the company ticks you off, rather than call into a company and bitch somebody out, call your upline and vent to them, because it's not going to do any good if you call a company and you're mean and nasty. And yeah, these people, they're working on a salary, and they don't, honestly, unfortunately, they don't want to have to put up with agents that are assholes. No. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you just kind of have to remember that. I mean, I learned that right away. Actually, my prior job, the guy that hired me over there, he said, "You ever have any issues, just call me. Don't take it out on anybody but myself, and everything should go smoothly." Because like what you said, you take one person off, then it's like they throw your name in a folder that you're like the red flag folder of people that are just mean and nasty, and you're never going to get your way. You're trying to build
Carriers, yeah.
relationships with people at these carriers. So you want to build good relationships with those people, and sometimes things will tend to go your way more than they won't.
Yeah, they do red flag people. They do also red flag business. This is also a time in the industry where there's a lot of technology, and don't think they don't have technology in place to protect from fraud. Like you're submitting business at 2 a.m. Eastern time. Don't think there isn't some algorithm that says red flag 2 a.m. business because it doesn't seem correct. Let's be realistic. They pay attention and pay a lot of attention in places you don't think they're paying attention. Adam, I got
They
an
definitely
email
do.
once from a VP of a carrier we're great friends with, and they had screenshotted multiple times. This agent had submitted piece of business on the same human being, and each screenshot was a different looking signature. They're looking like they don't want to terminate people. They don't want to deal with drama. They're paid the same salary no matter what they do. They don't, but they look. Next on the list of great ways to fail in 2024, I have down. Oh wait, I got to go back a second. Sometimes you need to bitch to your upline about a problem because the person you're trying to solve the problem with can't fix it. Oftentimes, when you call into 1-800 insurance and you try to get an issue fixed, the hourly employee you're talking to, great person, I'm sure, working hard for their family, can't fix the problem. That problem is 6 levels above their pay grade. And if you call your upline about it, they know who they need to call about it to get that problem fixed. So be mindful that sometimes they really can't fix what you're trying to have fixed. I'm sure you've experienced that in the corporate side too, right?
Well, yeah, and are they really going to want to help you if you're being an ass?
No,
To be quite honest,
I
they're
wouldn't.
not going to want to help you. No, they're going to be like, screw that guy. Like, I mean, I remember, yeah, my prior company, I would get calls from the home office about agents of mine that a guy called in and was cussing somebody out, was mean and nasty. And I mean, they were ready to terminate the agents a lot of times in those scenarios. They just don't want to deal with it. They don't want to deal with people like that. I don't blame them. There's no sense in taking it out on someone at the home office. There's ways to figure things out without having to be hostile. And yeah, just it's all about building good relationships with all parties involved. The agents that we work with, the carriers that we work with, and the families that we write business on.
Yeah, I learned a trick at some point in the last time of my life. Sometimes you have to write out an email and then delete it. Write out whatever you need to say and however you want to say it and every reason why you needed to say it, then delete it. Or write it, save it, and then look at it tomorrow and say, do I really still feel this way about that thing? Give yourself some patience with others, some patience with yourself, some patience with life, because this is really a big picture type situation. We're talking a lot about legacy this year within our agency, and legacy doesn't revolve around one day a lot of the time. It takes a big picture view of what you're doing. A next way to fail is quick thoughts about stuff. Man, that one lead type was perfect. I'm switching everything to this lead. That one carrier that one week was awesome. I'm writing everything with that one piece of business. That one territory I worked, those leads sucked. I'm never working there again. It's making quick judgments on the small sample size aspects of the business. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, heck, I mean, I've worked leads in the same area where one order actually it happened to me not that long ago. One lead order, I think I ordered 30 leads. I probably wrote like 10,000 in premium. And then the next 30 leads I ordered, I think I wrote like 2 apps. Same leads, but it's just all hit or miss. So yeah, you can't really make quick decisions. You definitely need to think about the decisions that you're making. And if something's working, you want to stick with it.
I also think the next important way to ruin your year is not be willing to grow and get uncomfortable. What are your thoughts on growth, getting uncomfortable, and getting where you want to be, and how refusing to do that is going to ruin your year?
Same thing. It's part of the business. Being uncomfortable, there's just parts of the business that maybe we don't want to do, but we know that we have to do in order to be successful. That means that it takes us out of our comfort zone. Uh, I think that the more uncomfortable we get in business, probably the bigger and better we're going to get. because that just means that we're getting better. We're becoming more successful at things that maybe in the past had held us back. So I think discomfort is a good thing. But again, yeah, it's just a matter of kind of getting over the hump with a lot of that stuff. Agents, even in our business, where they don't want to door knock a lead. It's part of the business. If all you're doing is purchasing leads and calling them, and if they never answer the phone, you say that's a bad lead, you're throwing a lot of opportunities in the garbage can that could end where there's still more than likely some sales to be made there. And it's just because they're uncomfortable with going straight up to the door. Well, have someone take you out that can show you how to do it and help you kind of overcome that. I know I've talked in the past about a guy that I brought on. He ordered 80 direct mail leads and never went out and worked them. They just sat around. Like, why would you spend that kind of money on leads and never go out and work them? And it was because he was uncomfortable. He was uncomfortable. He couldn't get over the fact that he had to show up at some people's houses. And I mean, who knows what he's doing these days, but you gotta get over it, or you will be wasting a lot of money. Like we've talked about, it's not for everybody. But if you can't overcome the things that are uncomfortable, then yeah, maybe you need to move on to do other things.
I think part of recognizing success and failure in 2024 is being honest with yourself. I know we kind of played with that topic idea over the course of Christmas break, but are there any thoughts that you wanted to share about being honest with yourself about your results, your efforts, your accountability? In the end, if you're going to win or fail, it's up to you individually watching this video. So Adam, what are your thoughts on like self accountability and honesty in leading to success or failure in this year?
Well, like I said, we put a plan together. We set goals, and we need to create a lot of activities that become habits. Yes, self accountability is very important. At the end of the day, I hold myself accountable all the time. I always feel like I can be doing better. When I don't hit the goals that I hit, I go back and I look and I understand why. And yeah, it was my fault. I should have done this. I should have done that. But I know that I'm the reason why I didn't hit those goals. Nobody else was to blame but myself. And but like I said, I think any business, I think self accountability is important, and people are going to start to kind of see that if you're the type of person that just kind of jumps from job to job or to career. You look at like people's LinkedIn profiles, and they have like 6 different agencies that they worked at over the last 4 years. To me, that's someone who probably has accountability issues. They failed at the first place, and because someone had to been screwing them over. And then they go to the next place, someone else is screwing them over at the next place. God, everywhere they go, they just get screwed over by everybody.
Adam, do you have time to screw anybody over today?
No. if I did, it wasn't intentional.
I'm looking at the schedule right now. I don't have screw blank over anywhere in the schedule. I don't have time for it. I hardly have time for the important things. I'm writing things I'm never going to get to down, but screw somebody over. There's no room in the schedule for it today.
Yeah, I have no time to screw people over. So, but I think that's, again, you talk about the accountability, and that's another podcast episode that I want to do soon, just kind of talking about people who play victim. And I think there's a lot of that, especially in sales and commission, where you're basically betting on yourself. I think there's a lot of that out there where everybody, maybe it's an ego thing. If they fail, it's never them, it's always everybody else. And people kind of get wind of that. They see that, and sooner or later, you're going to run out of places to go work.
Yeah.
You know, there's one guy, and I won't mention names, but there's one guy I see on Facebook that, I mean, I feel like this guy's just been all over the place. And then he's back at the same places that he's been prior. I actually looked at the guy's profile like last night, and I'm just like, I wonder where the heck he's working these days. Cause like, yeah, he's like, I feel like he's worked everywhere 5 times. Like, to me, that's an accountability thing. Everywhere you go, there's issues. Maybe it's me, maybe I need to look in the mirror.
Are you ever going to grow roots in the business and grow your business if you're constantly uprooting yourself every season? I know who you're talking about. Probably a great guy. I'm sure I'd love to have a beer with him, but You can't go somewhere new every quarter and ever expect just constantly be in that season of change. Change never leads to growth. It doesn't work. Last one
No,
I have for you, unless you had some thoughts on that,
no.
I got one more to wrap up. Overcomplicating your business. What we're in is the simplified issue life insurance industry and oftentimes Medicare. And guess what? It's simple. The people you talk to are old, broke, and they know they're going to die. And they know they don't have any money to fix that problem when they do. And you have a solution to that problem. Or they have insurance, it's not very good, you got something better. There are people that need help with their health benefits. They are entitled to more than they're currently getting, or no one's looked at it in a decade. You get the point. This is an incredibly simple business. I think a great way to fail this year for somebody, Adam, is to overcomplicate a simplified issue industry. What do you think?
Most definitely. Like we talk about where I think that, well, I think I could blame some organizations that bring agents on where it's almost like they want to, maybe they're not captive, but they want to treat it captive and they want to hold that agent captive by contracting them with like 30 different companies that are all doing the same thing. And to me, that's overcomplicating everything for the agent. You don't need all that. We've talked about this. You need maybe one primary carrier and then maybe two or three others that kind of fill in the gaps when you need it. You don't need to be contracted all over the place. And to me, that overcomplicates things, trying to figure out where to place your business. And, another thing too, people don't think about enough is part of our business is the fact that not all that business is going to stick. You're going to have chargebacks. If you're writing business with like 15 different companies, when you get hit with a chargeback, you have to go out there and just write that one piece of business to clear it up. If you're writing business with just a few and you get hit with a chargeback, you probably already have a lot kind of sitting there in the pipeline that's going to clear up some of those chargebacks and that. So, yeah, you don't want to overcomplicate it. I don't think you want to be over analytical either, though. I think there's agents out there that I've seen that have been over analytical where they're nickel and dime everything. The amount of money that they're spending on their leads, the amount that they're spending on gas every week, which they're spending for lunch when they're out in the field. Like at the end of the day, you're not going to make any money if all you're thinking about is all the. To me, it's thinking about your losses more than your gains.
Yeah, I had
and
the
more
guy
you think about losing, you're just going to continue to lose.
Yeah, a few years ago, he said to me, "Did you realize we're not getting commissioned on the policy fee for Oxford Life?" I had no freaking idea. Honestly, no clue. And guess what? I don't care. I also don't care. There are far more important things to do right now than worry if, sir, you're being paid commission on the policy fee on Oxford Life. You haven't bought leads this week, sold insurance, and this is the first thing you're calling me about? Or here's another one.
Yeah.
Overcomplicating things. I had a guy, different guy. I'm walking to my mailbox. This is like a memory seared into my brain. He calls me and his upline's on the phone. He's like, I've got John Doe on the phone with me. John Doe, he wants to know how quickly he should be setting up his LLC. I'm like, you got to be kidding me right now. How quickly can you set up the buying the leads part of what you're doing because you're not doing anything? No. They love to overcomplicate things. Another agent last year, great girl, all the potential in the world, all the want and the why. I need these ACA contracts. I need that term company you've never heard of. Where's all these final expense? I need this Medicare. I want that health. All right, let's get on a lead program. I got no money for that. But like, why are we worried about what ACA contract you're picking up when you can't buy leads? They wanted everything, but needed to start with the little things to eventually get there, and they never got there. Don't overcomplicate this business or you'll overcomplicate yourself out of the business.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, again, I think a lot of it goes back to ego. And I think that when people are contracting with all these different places and all these different products, they just makes them feel real important. I'm really big. I got all these different contracts, all these different carriers. I'm not collecting baseball cards here. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, like all you need is what you need, like for what you're focusing on. Everything else is just wasted time. Spending, all the time that you're spending to contract with all these different carriers for what?
Yeah, they're professional contract filler outers, but they're not actually professional business owners. The last one I'm going to start with, and we're going to wrap up from here. But before I get to that, comment and subscribe. Hey, maybe dislike. Maybe you think everything we said was stupid and rude, and you can dislike the post as well, the video. Follow, share the content, get it out to other people, because this year we need to see double the amount of people subscribe so we can help double the amount of people with our experience. Last one, best way to ruin 2024 is expecting perfection from your business partners. I'm going to leave my upline because my upline is not perfect. Thoughts on seeking perfection from your business partners, and if not, throw it in the towel.
Well, again, at the end of the day, I feel like it's if you have the upline that's willing to do a lot for you, it's a luxury. But it all same thing comes back to the whole self accountability. At the end of the day, it's great if you got people that are there to support you and help you, and that's what we do. You know, we try our best to help people, but at the end of the day, to me, it's a self accountability thing. You got to be willing. Well, when you need help, you got to be willing to ask. You got to be willing to pick up the phone and call someone that can help you. You can't. I mean, like we've said previously, can't be a mind reader. I mean, we will help the ones that are willing to be willing to pick up the phone and say, "Hey, I'm struggling. I need help." If someone isn't willing to do that, they can sit around and blame their upline all day, but they need to take the initiative.
No organization is perfect, no matter how big they are, no matter how much money they've made, no matter which private equity firm they have sold themselves to. No one's perfect. Everyone makes mistakes, but how accessible is your business partner? How willing to grow are they? How willing are they to help diffuse complex situations? How willing are they to get where you want to go and help you get there? So don't expect any one person or organization or IMO to be perfect, because none of them are. And if you're going to win this year, it's going to be up to you. Adam, closing thoughts on today's video?
You pretty much got it just right there. You know, at the end of the day, it's just a matter of you yourself have to be the one willing to succeed, willing to do well in the business, and if you fail, you got it. Like I said, you got to look in the mirror and say, "Well, heck, it's got to be me," because there's other people that are doing just fine. So, what are they doing that I'm not doing, and what can I do to improve myself to get better? You know, at the end of the day, that's to me, that's what it boils down to, is just focusing on yourself and what you can do to get better, and everything else to me is just gravy over and above that.
There we go. Appreciate everyone being here today. Comment, subscribe, follow, and share so we can continue to grow this audience and help people who didn't even know they needed it.